degraded, down before you're done. Rejection, depression, can't get what you want. You ask me how I made my way. You ask me everywhere and why. You hang on every word I say, but the truth sounds like a lie. Live to win till you die, till the light dies in your eyes. Live to win, take it all, just keep fighting till you fall. Obsessive, compulsive, suffocates your mind. Confusion, delusions, kill your dreams in time. You ask me how I took the pain, crawled up from my lowest low, step by step and day by day, till there's one less breath to go. Live to win till you die, till the light dies in your eyes. Live to win, take it all, just keep fighting till you fall. Day by day, kicking all the way, I'm not caving in. Let another round begin. Live to win, yeah. Live, yeah. Win. Live to win till you die, till the light dies in your eyes. Live to win, take it all, just keep fighting till you fall. Day by day, kicking all the way, I'm not caving in. Let another round begin. Live to win. Live to win. Live to win. Yeah. Live. Yeah. Win.
Keep you in the dark, you know they all pretend. Keep you in the dark, and so it all began. Send in your skeletons, sing as their bones come marching in again. They need you buried deep, the secrets that you keep are at the ready. Are you ready? I'm finished making sense, done bleeding ignorance that hold defense. Spinning infinity, but the wheel is spinning me. It's never ending, never ending. Same old story. What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one in your place? You're a pretender. What if I say I will never surrender? What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one in your place? You're the pretender. What if I say that I'll never surrender? In time or so untold, I'm just another soul for sale. Oh well, the page is out of print. We are not permanent. They're temporary, temporary. Same old story. Just another
you seen the photograph in my office? Have you? 11 guys sitting in the top of the Empire State Building. Have you seen that photograph?
Oh, I have, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it, right? And these guys were Navajo Indians, right? And if one fell, the other one grabbed them. Maybe 2 or 3 would die at one time just to save each other. You can't have a better example of teamwork than that, can you? So you've got to do everything for your team. That's how United have won all these things. It's not been one individual. Maybe an individual has made a difference, but the team has always been good. All worked hard. There's nothing wrong with working hard. Okay? Well done. You got a haircut. Good as that lard. There's a lard that's on that. What are you putting it? Gel.
I discovered that being the best in the world is about more than just technique. That rugby, like business and like life, is a game played primarily in the mind. In my new book, Legacy, I wanted to look at the question of what makes this team so successful. What is their competitive advantage? And what can it teach us about leadership? Essential to their success is the phrase, better people make better All Blacks. It's about character, and around it, they've built this extraordinary culture. And it works. It took the All Blacks from a 75% winning record to an unbelievable 86% and a little
First
gold.
big idea is sweep. So if you want to create a legacy, James tells us, it starts with character. The first chapter in the book is character, and the first story that he shares is about humility. So imagine the greatest team ever. You're playing on this team and you win a huge match, right? So the press comes in, your family comes in, everyone's excited about it. Afterwards, you have a little debrief with the coaches and the leaders of the team talking about how hard you worked to get here and how much more work there is to do, right? And then James says, then what do? Well, then they do something very surprising. Some of the best players in the world get out a broom and they start sweeping up the area. They clean up their own mess, right? They're brushing the gauze and all the other stuff that needs to be cleaned up into a nice little pile and they throw it away. At the same time, this is after a huge match, right? At the same time, New Zealand's enjoying replays of this big match. Kids are falling asleep dreaming of being All Blacks, and these extraordinary players have the humility that leads to their character that allows them to be able to perform at this high level. Sweep the floors. In the note I talk about Ryan Holiday, he ends his new book, which is coming out soon, The Ego is the Enemy, with a similar story about the fact that we are always sweeping. You're never done, right? You're never going to be exonerated from having to do future work. Champions get this, and they remind themselves of this at the peak of their achievement, right? Sweep the floors. Do the little things. You're never too big to do the little things. You have the humility, which is the cornerstone of character. That's our first big idea. This
struggle in practice, you're never going to get better. So like if you were to watch me train, I'd look as tired as they were, because that's what you're supposed to be. Now when you're running 17s and you're running sprints, you're not supposed to feel great. You're supposed to be tired, like exhausted. That's the point, you know, and that's what practice is. So I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that they pushed it the way that they did, because that's the only way you get better is by pushing yourself past exhaustion.
The last question I think I have time to ask, maybe the last question, is whether or not
who's gonna make you leave? This your place.
Well, if you say I gotta leave, I gotta leave. That everybody can emulate.
I have this discussion with friends of mine all the time. The only thing that I can see, and you can never really look at yourself, the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill, right? I will run.
You would not be outworked.
I will not be outworked,
right?
Period.
Yeah.
You know, you might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. You might be sexier than me. You might be all of those things. You got it on me in 9 categories. But if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple, right? So let's go back to the question about what if people block me out. It's going to be two options.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back in, or I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're not going to outwork me. It's such a simple, basic concept. It's the guy who is willing to hustle the most is going to be the guy that just gets that loose ball. You know, he got okay, he got two. Ooh, God, he hustled, he grabbed that one. That was going to be out of bounds, but he saved it back in. It's like the commodity that I see the majority of people who aren't getting the places they want or aren't achieving the things that they want in this business is strictly based on hustle. It's strictly based on being outworked. It's strictly based on missing crucial opportunities. I say all the time, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.